So today my tip that I want to share is about breathing, and I'm sure many of you have heard, just calm down, take a breath, or you just need to breathe. And if it hasn't worked for you yet, I really urge you not to give up on it. I know both Tanya and Megan mentioned it as well, but I wanted to go ahead and dedicate this whole tip to a breathing exercise that has been really helpful with sleep, as well as another way to de-stress and not feel so fearful, but really sleep. I keep hearing that people are not sleeping right now, and I also am struggling a little bit, but I luckily have a large tool bag that started about 17 years ago when I had similar problems with not sleeping and was just chronically stressed. So I want to share a breathing technique because our breath is basically a mirror, or tells us what's going on the inside. So it changes depending on if you feel calm, if you feel fearful, overwhelmed, sad. It changes. And sometimes when we're really overwhelmed and scared, we even hold our breath a lot, which is not very good for us. The really cool thing though that most people don't know, or maybe haven't gotten to experience very much yet, is that our breath can also change the way we're feeling. So it works both ways. So our breath will reflect what's going on internally, but we can also shift what's going on internally by shifting what we're doing with our breath. Okay, so and that is huge. So the technique I'm going to show you is with the longer exhale than the inhale. And basically by elongating the exhale, we are telling our body that we are safe. So if you're not safe right now, if you're in a unhealthy or dangerous situation, first off, I hope you will be able to find support, or you are getting support, and get out of that situation quickly. And I am also just so sorry, because this is not a good time to be in an unsafe household. So my heart goes out to you. However, if you are safe, if you're one of us that is at home, but yet you don't feel safe because you're overwhelmed with the new situation, you're fearful of what might happen. There's a lot of stuff we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. However, the whole thing with mindfulness is, if you are safe right now in this present moment, we need to connect to that. And it's so important to connect to it, because without that, we are in a fear state. We're basically in fight, flight, or freeze. And if we're in that chronically, that's really bad for our health. It's really bad for our relationships. It's hard to sleep. It's just hard for our body. It's just not a good thing. It's not a good place to be. And if this goes on, like it seems like it will, for several more weeks, then that's a long time for your body to be in stress. So I really urge you to give this a try, and other mindfulness techniques, to just remind yourself that you are safe right now, and that you can dip into the parasympathetic nervous system as much as possible. This will also help with the sleep issue. So if we're chronically stressed, our brain has a hard time turning off and actually going to sleep. Or if you can go to sleep, you may wake up in the middle of the night and have a hard time falling back asleep. So all which are very frustrating, and just kind of snowballs, because then the next day doesn't go well because you have not slept well. So with breath, there's nothing magical about being able to go really long inhales and really long exhales. Yes, it does mean your lung capacity is pretty good. But if I go longer than your lungs can, I don't want you to force it. So let's be gentle and compassionate with ourselves, and just really practice listening to our bodies. And this is good practice for the rest of our days, just to be gentle with where we're at and just go from there. So not comparing or anything else. So go ahead and find a comfortable position to be in. You can lie on the floor or sit. If you have a place where your back can be supported, that's great. Go ahead and sit up straight. It doesn't need to be real rigid, but just sit up straight so you can have space in the lungs and space in the belly, so if it wants to expand, it can. Close your eyes if that helps, if that's comfortable to do so, or you can just keep them soft, maybe look down, or just keep them open, whatever's comfortable for you. And the first part of the breath that I'll teach is just a gentle inhale and exhale. I encourage you to inhale through the nose if possible and exhale through the mouth if possible. Exhaling through the mouth is very helpful in telling our body to go ahead and relax and release tension. So if you can do that, that's great. The second part, I'm going to have you hold after the inhale and then exhale. So if you are pregnant, please don't hold, okay? So just go ahead and do the normal inhale with a longer exhale. But if you're not pregnant and you want to give this a try, you might like one better than the other, or sometimes if I'm really having a hard time shutting off my brain, I'll do the hold because I have to concentrate a little bit harder to do that. And then I'll revert to going ahead and just doing the inhale with the longer exhale if I'm trying to fall asleep after I've calmed my brain down. So, all right, so going ahead and taking a nice inhale. You can inhale for 2 and exhale for 3. Inhale for 2, exhale for 3. Inhale for 2 and exhale for 4 if you can. Inhale and exhale. Then increasing to inhale for 3. Exhale for 5 if you can. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Go ahead and do a few of those at your own pace. Inhaling and exhaling. Knowing you can always increase the inhale to 4 and exhale to 6. At the bottom of your next exhale, going ahead and letting the breath return to normal. And just noticing how that was for you. And now I won't do a real long example of the hold after the inhale, but just do a couple just so you get the feel for it. So let's go ahead and we'll start with an inhale for 3, hold for 3, and then exhale for 5. And there's not really anything magical again about the numbers that I'm doing. It's just the just 3 and 3 and then exhaling for 5 is pretty doable for most people. Now if it's not for you, that's okay. You can do inhale for 2, hold for 2, and exhale for 3 or 4 if you can. So again, listening to your own body. All right, so let's give that a try. So inhaling for 3, hold, exhale. Inhale for 3, hold, and exhale. One last time, inhale for 3, hold, and exhale. Letting the breath return to normal. So those are 2 techniques. Maybe take a note of how you feel. I hope you feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more present. If you don't worry about it. It comes with time. The more you practice, the easier it is. I highly encourage you to practice when you're not super stressed. If that's you all the time, then just practice. But, you know, before you get really stressed out or before you're laying there at 2 o'clock in the morning, try this during the day. Try it, you know, before a meal, after a meal, while you're in the shower, after you brush your teeth, anything that reminds you, you know, just pick 1 or 2 that reminds you to give this a try. So, and the reason I say that is the more we practice, the more the body learns, oh, okay, it's time for me to relax. So because I've been practicing now, I've been practicing for almost 17 years, because I've been practicing that long, I only have to do a few breaths and my body's like, okay, yeah, all right, I'm safe, it's time to relax. But that's not gonna be the case if this is your first time, and that's okay. And I hope you won't just blow it off. I hope you'll give it a try. If you are having a hard time sleeping, if you're feeling overwhelmed, fearful, if you're having anxiety, nervous, any of those emotions that, nothing wrong with those emotions, but I know they're not pleasant. So I know we want to be in a more calm, happy state whenever possible. And so yes, I hope this was helpful.